Okay, welcome everyone. So excited that you can be with us tonight on our team Zoom. We are just excited. We have some rank advancements to announce, and we also have a special guest tonight. And I just wanted to say hello. My name's Julie White from Pennsylvania, Pro 7 with LifeVantage, and we're just thrilled to be able to get together on these Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. So Mark Harris, Pro 8, Mark and Krista Harris, our team leaders, has a few rank advancements to announce to us tonight, and then I will introduce our guest. Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. And Krista's on her way. She's getting dinner on the table for the boys. They just walked in from a hard day's work at Nana and Poppy's house, so she's coming. But I just want to congratulate the following people who achieved new ranks this past month. Carla Galvananez under Stuart and Stephanie Keisman reached the rank of Pro 3 this past month. Awesome. Carol Roberts, as we just heard from Debbie Packard. Well done, Carol. That team is on fire. Maybe I should start with the big one there in that team. Leah Gerard hit Pro 4 from Florence, Italy, in lockdown. My excuses are gone. What do you say? Somebody who rank advances to Pro 4 on lockdown in a global quarantine in another country. I mean, arguably one of the hardest hit countries in the world, and she's still building a global business. That's awesome. Lori Gibault, that looks like Gibault. I mentioned Leah. Alex Mosley hit Pro 3. Mosley, that's an E, Mosley. Abby Christensen, Pro 3. Jason Christensen, do you think there's any relationship there? Awesome, brand new Pro 1. Mary Street, Elizabeth Lamont, Yvette Witkowski, Donna Edwards. That must be a BC2 because Donna's a Pro 6. So well done, Donna, on your second business center, I'm presuming. Travis Dame, Jessica Lima, Stephen Kretschmar, and that may be a BC2 as well. Derek Snow and Mitchell Magnus. All new rank advancements for the month of May. So just fantastic work, everybody. So cool. I love that. I love it when people are doing well. Julie, back to you. And I'm so stoked to have Melissa on the call. I can't wait.
Congratulations, everyone. That's incredible. And with that, I'm going to just introduce our guest tonight, Melissa Brown. I'm so excited to hear from her. She homeschools 6 kids, guys, 6 children. She loves being her own boss. She ran several successful small businesses while raising her children, but was looking for something new, something bigger. And so her family, they sold everything. I mean, they sold everything, even their businesses and all, and they went on a journey. That sounds really interesting and brave. And 2 months later, guess what? She ran into LifeVantage. And she signed up, and 22 months later, she hit the rank of Pro 7. So she loves the fact that there's no ceiling with this business, and her greatest blessing will be to bring as many with her that want to come. I love that, Melissa. So I'm going to turn the time over to you, and thank you so much. It's just an honor and privilege to have you on here. We're excited to hear from you tonight, Melissa.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on here. It's so much fun. I like it said in my bio, you know, I love that about LifeVantage, that we all work together. And my greatest goal and just my joy in life is helping other people. And like, I love that my paycheck is directly affected by helping, coaching, mentoring, cheering people on. Like, that's my favorite thing to do. So it's fun to make money that way. Well, I would love to tell you guys a little bit about my story. Julie had asked me, you know, to really talk about how I like to invite and then launching new people. And I think that my story will help explain that and what I have found that worked really well. So like she said, you know, we hit Pro 6 in about 9 months from sign up, but we weren't working, you know, all that time. Like, we took a trip we were traveling full time, right? And so we took a trip down into Mexico, and we're just on the beach for a long time without cell service. It was lovely. But you know, the way we found LifeVantage is kind of a unique way, but I love to share the story because I think there's some serious things to learn from what Jason did. So I'm sure everyone, unless you're only a month in, you know, my personal leader dude, the guy that showed this to me, is Pro 8 Jason Kokenzie, and he's going to be doing the call tomorrow night for the company. Jump on that. He is a powerful, powerful speaker. But I had met Jason in a Facebook group. We were both full-time traveling families. And I had asked a question in that group because I was working on another project. And so I just said, how do you guys keep your families healthy while on the road? I probably had at least 100 responses. I mean, at least. And they were pretty much all network marketers, you know, pitching their thing. And he came off very smart and not salesy. Like, I honestly didn't know there was a business. Him and I still argue about this sometimes because I'm like, you could have brought me in a lot sooner. Come on, like, I could be further right now. But he just answered my question, and then we started chatting more, and he really just gave value, right? I asked him some questions. He answered those questions. He was never trying to, I didn't feel like he was trying to recruit me. And then what happened was I was just scrolling Instagram one day and saw that we were actually in the same town at the same time. And so I messaged him and I was like, hey, what are you doing here? And he said, I'm here giving a talk on creating generational wealth for entrepreneurs. And I was like he was fishing with the right bait, right? Like, he said the words that he knew that would perk my ears up. He tried to send me some science thing before, because I think I asked him what nutrigenomics was. Science is not my strong suit. I am learning all the science that I need, you know, now. But I was totally interested because before that, I don't know where you guys were when you found LifeVantage, but for me, I knew there was a way to make money online. I knew we could create freedom for our family. I'd seen other people do it. They were just like me and you. And I'm like, okay, I got to crack this code. And I was trying all these things. And I mean, I had too many things that I was trying all at the same time, and they were creating little tiny bits of income, but I was totally stressed out, overwhelmed, and just stuck. And so when I saw LifeVantage, it was like, oh man, like, here it is. Here's the vehicle, right? Like, it's already all set up for me. I don't have to go create a website. I don't have to create a product. I don't have to go hire lawyers. Like, honestly, that's what I've been asking Jason about. I needed a lawyer to help start my other company, and I wasn't sure who to go to. And so finding something that you could just plug into, and I mean, you guys, we are so blessed. Like, raise your hand if you think we're immensely blessed to be where we're at. We know we have, yes, there we go. You know, to have the science, to have everything already in place, and I could just run with that, I was down. And so that's what we did. And we just put the blinders on. We stopped trying to do all these other little things that we thought would make us some money, because every minute I spent on that was taking away a minute that I could spend on building leveraged generational income. And I'm like, that thing, that is so powerful. And my friend Allison is here, one of my business partners. She's here visiting right now. She's sitting on the other side of my desk here. But we've been brainstorming a lot about how we can help spread that message of leveraged income, because I think people just don't understand the true power of what we have. There's a gal on my team who's autistic, and it's just something that she's realized probably in the last couple of years. And it's been interesting. She was talking the other day about being extremely overwhelmed with life. Like, she'd put herself in a bunch of social situations, and then she crashed for like a week or two. And her husband was telling her, honey, you know what? Don't beat up on yourself. It's fine. Just jump back and get going. That's the beauty of this kind of a business that you're doing, is that you can step away like that when you need to, and it continues to run. And I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good. You know, and just really to realize like the power of that, guys, it's amazing. But so we signed up, and basically what I did with Jason, and this is what I do with my new people, we scheduled 2 Zoom calls a week. So it was like Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock. Every week we did a Zoom opportunity meeting. And so then I would invite all my people to the Monday one. If they couldn't come, then I'd invite them to the Thursday. but it was really nice for him and I to have those set times. And then it was just him and then me and my people. So they would come on, I would invite them like this. Guys, have you heard of NRF2 activation or oxidative stress or something like that? If I was talking to my natural people, my friends that were into all that stuff, and they'd be like, no, and I'm like, I'm just learning about it. I'm totally excited. I really don't understand it all that well yet. I'm just learning, but my friend Jason's going to talk to you guys. I want you guys to jump on and hear from him because this is seriously, like, this is big news and no one knows about it yet. And I just said that over and over, you guys. Like, I did not know what I was doing. I still don't understand the science fully, right? I'm like, an enzyme, does it make it? I get a little confused. But there's third-party tools. And this is the thing. And do I have permission just to talk to you all like you signed up yesterday? Can we just, because we're all in like all different parts, right? But I don't know, like the beauty of this business is like, it's really, the new people can thrive. Like you can run and not knowing and just being in that spot of like, I don't totally get it. Like the science is a little over my head or whatever you want to say, like throw yourself under the bus. No one thinks you're perfect. You don't need to be perfect. No one's looking for perfect. People are looking for real. And when you're like, I'm just learning, but I'm super excited. My friend is going to share with you. And then I get them on the call. I would introduce them to each other. They would have their cameras on because I introduced them all. My camera's on. I'm like this, taking notes. Like I think I wrote down that presentation, 50 times so I could get it. And we just kept doing that over and over and over, especially as I ran through, my warm market. And guys, it took a while. Like we signed up. Okay, I said it took a while. In my mind, it took a while. Some people are like, shut up, lady. I'm talking about take a while. But like we signed up in December. I had a couple customers, but it was the last day in February. I signed up 3 platinum packs in one day. My first time I had any distributors, 3 distributors signed up in one day. I was like, okay, here we go. This is gonna work, right? And I just kept getting in front of training and hearing people's stories, and I just plugging in. And I tell you, I don't know how many of you guys have gone to Building Depth. That's where I saw it. That was the meeting that Jason was at, where he was talking. And what I loved about that meeting so much, well, there's 2 things. I love that there was all sorts of cross-line people together, because I don't want to feel that like, oh, you're on her team. Like, I only work with my team. Like, I hate that. I don't want to feel any kind of jealousy, weirdness, competition. Like, I mean, like race for a good thing, like just for the healthy competition. But, so I love that. But I also love that people kept telling their failure stories over and over. Like, had meetings set up, nobody showed up. But you know what? We still went. We did what we said we're going to do. Like Dan Mullering, I love when he shares a story. Like it took him 2 years to get a distributor, but he's an elite distributor now. Like those stories help motivate me. And I would see these just normal people that didn't give up, and they had their bad days just like I was having, right? Like I remember calling Jason and saying like, I don't think I can invite anyone else. Like I'm stuck. It's not working. Right. And I just had to get myself like, watch some more training videos, listen to somebody's story again, listen to how it was hard, and then, but just keep going. And so, so we did those 2 Zoom calls a week, and then we just kept running. And then I really love in-home person meetings. So we did that a lot. We traveled around to places we had lived before and, got together with friends we hadn't seen in a long time. And they like, what are you doing? Oh, we're doing this, and start sharing. I sometimes joke that we would camp out in people's yards until they signed up as distributors. That may or may not be exactly true. But, when you're excited about something and you're studying it, like we have a new gal on our team. Allison and I were concerned about, but she's like, my family's here and I'm trying. She's not on trainings lately. And she's been in for like 3 months. And she stopped coming onto the trainings the past couple weeks. She's like, well, my family's here. I just don't want to bother them. And I'll tell you guys, when you take it serious, when you're hanging out with your friends and family, but it's a training and you're like, I'm glad you're here for the week. Monday nights are my call. I have to go jump on that call. Excuse me. Or if you want to listen, you sure join me. But when you take it serious, they take you serious, and they take you and your business serious. But if you make an excuse for everything, not going to work. So, we were just doing meetings and doing our regular job, and they would see me like just talking to people on the phone. I'm like, well, what are you doing? And then they would sign up, and I could talk for days about LifeVantage. I absolutely love it. I love this business. I love this industry. It's such a blessing. But also for launching new people. And if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat deal and I would answer them for you. But that's really what we try and do is immediately, like, let's have a Zoom, let's talk to your people, let's keep going. And, you know, I love it in person, but even just, you know, we were traveling for 1.5 years when we found this 2 months into travels. So I was like, yeah. So then our travels ended up being a lot of business. So then we ended up settling down. We live in Colorado Springs, Colorado now. Our 2 oldest kids do go, well, they were in school last year and then they were schooling at home like everyone else, right? But they wanted school and they wanted jobs and things like that. So we settled down. And so, and then they're in sports and all those things. So I just can't travel like I used to. And that's been a little hard for me. And then I knew God was just telling me, like, Melissa, you have to figure out how to do this from home, because that's what most moms need. And that's who's attracted to me. My team is full of homeschool moms with, you know, 5 to 10 kids. Like, there's a lot of kids on my team and they have to fit it in those nooks and crannies. And so I was working on that. And then COVID hit and then it really locked everything down. And it was like, okay, even though you're fighting doing all this stuff on Zoom because that's not your first love, right? You still need to do it. You got to figure it out. And so that's what we really do now. And I think that's what we're going to continue to mostly do is utilize social media and Zoom because moms are at home with babies napping and stuff. And it's really hard for them to get out and do the meetings the way I really love to do. But yeah, that's what we do. And we just really encourage people to just run from the beginning and like, you're going to learn as you go. It's on the job training. And I think this is the only industry, like it's almost better for you to like be bad and not know anything and just be like, I'm really excited. Just check it out. And then you show the support and people see like, oh, well, I don't have to know everything either, you know, because I see some of the people that's the hardest for them to duplicate are those people that are the scientists, that are the doctors, that are, you know, just that are truly amazing. People are like, I can't start giving a presentation till I'm like them. And it's like, no, just walk them through some of the stuff, push play on a video, call somebody to answer your questions. Like you're never going to know it all. Never. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You want to talk about Invite more?
Sure.
Okay. I was thinking about that. Like, basically I love to say, you know, I can't say that I'm still learning. I don't understand it all. Like that, you can really utilize that in the beginning. And then later it's all about edification. You know, if you want to get somebody on a meeting, if you want to get somebody to see it, it's really like, you don't want to miss this person. I really think that okay, so Jason's coming on tomorrow. So like, let's just say I'm introducing, Ron. I'm going to say, hey, Ron, you have got to get on with Jason. I think you're really going to love his presentation because he's a master entrepreneur, just like you. I know you love entrepreneurship and Jason's done a lot of businesses. He is an excellent speaker. I can't wait for you to hear him. And honestly, I don't know when he'll be doing one of these presentations again, right? Like there has to be that sense of urgency and don't miss this, right? So you have to connect them and know the people, know the presenter, and ask your upline if somebody's going to speak. Like, I don't know who this person is. And I realized with my team, you know, we were having daily Zoom calls and I know who all these presenters are, but then I'm like, I have to remember that there's people that signed up yesterday that have no idea who Mark Harris is, you know? So I had to do a really good job every morning saying, okay, team, or I would say on Mondays, I usually do a call to my team and I say, these are the speakers for the week. And I really talk about who that person is and what types of people for sure you want to make sure get on that call, because we all have different levels of knowledge about a person and who's going to fit. And people are kind of scared to invite people to a Zoom when they don't know who that person is or how pushy they might be. I think that's a big fear I see with a lot of distributors. They're like, I don't want people to feel pushed in anything. I've never had anyone feel that way. We went to one meeting. It was Skip Campbell, and I love him. His style is my style. I love him, but he pushes a little harder than I would push. And my friend was like, not even like used to big crowds. And he was just like, either you're in or you're out. You pick today. Like, you see the information, here it is, you decide. What are you going to do? And afterwards I asked her, I'm like, so did you feel like that was pushy at all? She's like, no, not at all. I love that guy. And I'm like, he's the pushiest person I mean, and I love him. So I'm not saying that in a bad way, but he is the most direct presenter I've ever seen. And so I was like, okay, we can feel safe inviting anyone to anything, you know? But I really like to say also in the invite, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Like, getting them off the hook. I like how Tara Wilson says, you know, I'm looking for business partners, customers, and referrals. You know, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. And I think because people are just terrified to say no. Like, if you're getting ghosted by people, like, so many times people they'd rather avoid than say no. And so when you can tell them, it's like, it's not a big deal. I just want you to see the information. And I also will a lot of times tell people, like, and it depends on the relationship and where they're at, but just saying, like, I just want you to know what we have in case you might meet somebody that desperately needs what we have. Like, it's good for everyone, but some people desperately need it. And so could you just take a look at what we have? One of my newest distributors, I reached out to her one day and I just said, you know, I would love for you to take a look at what we're doing. I don't think the business is probably for you. I know you already love what you're doing, but I think you're really going to like the products. She jumped on a call, watched that thing. She's texting me after. She's selling it to me, right? She's like, this is amazing. I'm in. Like, this is what I've been looking for. And it's been amazing. She's so excited. But helping her say to her, like, I don't think this is even going to be for you. You know, she didn't feel the pressure. And it's like, oh, I'll take a look. Sure, I'm open to that. I've wondered what you've been doing. And so I like to do stuff like that with people. I don't want them to feel pressure. And when there's not that, they're more willing to, yeah, it's like fishing, right? It's like, you can't be like jerking too much. No. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's great. I love your enthusiasm, and I love how you love to do LifeVantage. You know, it's cool. And I just like how you shared about people looking for someone being real. And you're very real and very natural and authentic with us tonight, and we appreciate it. And then I love also how you're doing the Zooms with the new people. So you have 2 Zooms a week. And because that's really focusing on the main thing we need to focus on, which is income producing activities, you know, and just learning as you go. You don't have to know everything. So incredible information, very encouraging and motivating. You had a lot of great tips on the invite too. So I took some notes here, and I'm just looking to see if anybody has any questions. You can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat box.
And Julie, I just want to say, I love your little space there. I'm like, I want to come hang out with you in there, like your light fixture, your plants. I'm like trying to turn my house into a jungle. So I'm like,
well, guess what, Melissa? Guess what? This is.
Oh, are you doing a green screen?
I'm a virtual background.
You tricked me. You got me good.
Yeah. So,
good
you
green
know,
screen.
I went on, when we had to get passwords, I discovered these virtual backgrounds, and I went on unsplash.com where they have all these really cool pictures that are free, completely free. And I looked for backgrounds that I liked. And so right now, this is my favorite. So it doesn't matter what my house looks like. It doesn't matter what other people do. But there you can see sometimes when I
yeah, yours is good. With the white in my hair, it really messes with the green screen, and I can't do it with my hair color. Yeah. But someone asked over here if I have a group that I put people in on Facebook. So yeah, so our team has a customer group that we run together, and after people have seen a presentation, we use that for a follow-up. So it's one of our ways. And I'll teach you my theory. People teach different theories on this. I don't ask for permission. I tell people, ask a question. What about this? And I say, oh, that's a great question. You know what? We have a video in our Facebook group. I'll add you to it and I'll tag you on it and you can check it out. And that way then they're in there and we use it as a follow-up. And then, tag them on some other things. Maybe I always tag, I don't just write their name. I don't want people to feel like cattle going through the chutes. I'm a farm girl. I don't know how many farm girls we got on here, or guys. Sorry if we got a good mixture. I like it. You know, but people want to feel important, you know, seen, heard, not just a sale to you. And so I would say, like, here's the video we talked about. And what I learned, is even if a person is standing next to me and I'm doing it on my phone while we're talking, so I don't forget to do it, I still write a couple things on there, because what happens is my team doesn't know that I was standing next to that person when I tag them. And so they're watching everything I do and do not do, right? And if I just started writing their name, oh, all of a sudden people just started tagging people's names and not writing that sentence. And so just a little tip for you. But yeah, we do use a Facebook group like that.
Okay, what other questions do we have? Do you have any thoughts on a relaunch?
Yeah, always be doing that. Good idea. I don't know. So have you guys seen the launch guide that?
Right.
So there's the new launch guide to help people. And I think for me, I still honestly struggle with this. I've always been, you know, if people wanted to criticize me growing up, maybe mainly my family, the word I always heard was, you're so bossy. You're so bossy. I'm just a leader, okay, y'all? Anyhow. But that's something that I have this little chatter that I have to, but also finding that line, right? And so the part of me that struggled, like when people would come in as a distributor, well, at first I thought everybody would be like me and just ask a million questions and just run and like find it or ask, but people all the time, and I'm sure you all get this, I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, my job is to be bothered. You need to ask the questions. I promise you, I asked Jason 10 questions a day for at least 4 months. I promise you. And I promise you that he will tell you right now, he didn't mind and he's just fine and he can keep, you know. But one of the things for me was like when new people started too, I didn't want to feel too pushy with them, like asking, you know, what are your goals and why do you want to do this? It felt weird. But now if you're just like going through this paper, hey, print that out. Okay, here's this part. So what's your why? And walking through this, this thing helps you to be a little braver and bolder and helps you and your team to be on the same page. So I'm really excited about that with launching and relaunching. You know, it's like sometimes you just have to dig deeper. Okay, who else could I reach out to? You know, maybe asking your upline for coaching. I think that's key. Just saying, hey, if there was one thing you think I could do that would boost my business, what do you think is one thing I could change today that would boost my business? If you're bold enough to call your upline or even a cross-line leader that you just really, that knows you, right? Somebody that knows you and ask that question, I think that could totally change your business if you were open to the coaching, right?
Right. Very good. Well, I see a lot of comments here, people just appreciating all these gold nuggets that you're sharing. So that's awesome. We really do appreciate you taking this time with us tonight. Yeah. Anybody else have a comment or question before we just wrap this up tonight?
Yeah, Melissa, I want to throw something at you because I know that as a homeschool mom, you got your hands full and you're right in the trenches of that age that is so challenging. And I forget what the spectrum of your ages are, but I know it's a handful. Talk about your daily method of operation a little bit and how you do that, how you discipline your LifeVantage business time and still make sure everybody gets loved and cared for there in the house as well.
Yeah, this is like the continuing topic, right? So yeah, my oldest is 17 and my youngest is 4. And there's 6 of them. 3 boys and 3 girls, and we were told we wouldn't have kids at all. So that's a whole nother God story we could talk about some other day if you ever want to have that conversation. Daily, like today, what did today look like? Today looked like I got up and worked out in the garden with little kids and played, and I was like disgusting. Like I did not shower or anything, right? Like I'm in my pajamas and doing that, playing with the kids. We did some painting, we read some books. We talked with the teens about our plan for the summer because we're not just going to sit around, right? And, you know, and had that time. checked my phone a couple times, but I have to really like, I tuck my phone away. I think I try and schedule as much as I can, but I like to have a loose schedule. Sometimes people call this like putting like, oh, I forget the word I'm looking for. Like, it's not posts or pillars in your day, something like at lunchtime, we always read at lunch, you know, lunch might be at noon, might be at 2, but we're going to read together for a little bit, you know, at lunchtime, and just having those set things that you always do. And so it's like with our kids, I'm like, okay, before you can play with your friends, your chores must be done. Before you can turn on electronics, your schoolwork's going to be done. And so just having those kinds of things, but I like to use my phone. I always have it on silent. Okay. I can't handle the dings, all that stuff. This little watch thing though is really awesome because my phone's always on silent, but if somebody's calling me, it'll vibrate. And so it's not as irritating, or I don't know, especially with 6 kids, there's a lot of noise and people touching you, and it's like, and you just can't handle more of that. But I do have a couple of alarms on my phone that tell me like, reach to your downline, you know, reach out, make 20, you know, message 20 people or whatever. I really believe you have to be your own boss. Like, you really have to tell yourself what to do and then do it. Otherwise somebody else is going to boss you around, you know? And I don't like that, because I like to be the boss. So, you know, it's like, I do that. So basically my goal really though is, be with my kids until noon, and we do school and things like that, hide the phone. And then after that, I usually work off and on, but I try and take breaks. Like I have a Zoom now, but then I have a Zoom at 8 and at 9, like I'm on Mountain Time. So like in this little gap, I'll go out and hug some kids. Like we'll sit down and snuggle, and I'll be with them between those Zoom calls, because sometimes there can be a lot. But just trying to, we started doing a thing where on Fridays, I take that day off. And so now we split up half the boys. We have a boys day one Friday, and then the next Friday, the girls, and we go out and spend time together, and just to be intentional at those times, because it can be easy to always be answering people's questions, but honestly, they can wait, you know, and that can be hard on a person. But to know, like, I'll check that after lunch. No one's going to die if I don't answer their question until lunchtime, you know, and they start to understand your schedule, and people are understanding of it. But.
Yeah. And I just wanted to, first of all, affirm what you've been able to do with kids in that season of life, because not everybody finds a way to do that. So it's just remarkable at what you've been able to do, sis. But I want to just encourage everybody. We did that as well. We didn't have 6, we only had 3. So you've had twice as hard as we had it. But for those people that are looking for a really firm daily method of operation, sorry for the background noise, the boys are being insane downstairs. Those of you that were on 2 weeks ago heard Charlotte Venter talk about her daily method of operation, actually shared her launch guide with the team, and Julie graciously posted that in the team Facebook page. So if you're looking for something really structured, really rigid, that's already in there. And we're going to be doing more and more of that. Dr. Whistler, to your question about relaunch, we're going to spend some time in the next coming weeks specifically looking at how to relaunch, how to hit reset, and how to get people re-engaged. And that's going to be also conducive to onboarding brand new folks. And if you want to see Melissa more, you may want to just wander on over to the to the Building Depth group as well. Lots of cool calls coming up. 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow, and Melissa's part of our little rotation as well. So if you want to see more of Melissa, you might just want to. And here's my shameless plug: June 12th and 13th as well. You get to see her and a lot of other rock stars on the Power Surge event coming up from 5 to 8 on the 12th, and from 12 to 5, those are mountain times, on the 13th. So it's good to see your happy face, Melissa. I love you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited. And I'm actually, I think the plan is right now that I'm going to be traveling to St. Louis and doing my part of the Power Surge from the St. Louis area. I got a new team we're launching up over there. So
fantastic.
I have to
we'll wait.
Give you a jingle as we drive by. Yeah.
Great.
Julie, back to you, sister.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. We really appreciate everything you shared with us and just spending the time with us tonight. It was awesome. So I just want to thank everyone for being on here, and just remind everyone tomorrow we have Marina Worry sharing. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and that information is on our team page as well. And so anyway, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you jumping on here, and thanks for all the value you gave us, Melissa. You're awesome. We really are excited to have you on here tonight. So with that, we'll say it's a wrap. All right. Did you have anything else, Melissa?
No, I was just going to say thank you. It was great. I appreciate you having me here.
Right. Well, blessings
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks.
Thank you, Melissa. It was great.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.